even when Namibia got independence, and then I'm given different responsibility, everything I think, what I'm doing, what impact would it make in the life of a Namibian person? What impact does it make in the life of a world citizen? So that's why, as a deputy minister of foreign affairs, when Namibia was elected to the Security Council, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, then Comrade Theo Ben Gurirab, may he so rest in eternal peace, he asked me, Netumbo, we are now elected into the Security Council. What do you think we should take there? Immediately what came into my mind, I know where I came from. We are coming from a bitter struggle. And I know the importance of peace. And I have also read how women suffer during conflict. So I say, let us discuss the issue of women and peace. We introduced that. It was not easy because other members of the Security Council were saying that's not a security issue, it's a social issue. It must go to ECOSOC. ECOSOC is one of the bodies in the UN where social issues are discussed. He came back and said, no, we have to make a motivation. That cannot be a social issue. It's a serious security issue. So finally it was agreed, it was debated, and then Resolution 1325 was adopted. And when that resolution was adopted, then the Secretary General of the UN started now calling for its implementation, people to go and assess. Because my position was, in conflict, women should not only be seen as victims, they should also be seen as peacemaker, so that they can contribute to peace building. So today, that is one of the highly commended resolution in the UN. And I feel I have really contributed to humankind. If you go to the UN now, they nickname it. They nickname me grandmother for Resolution 1325. So I did my contribution to the world peace. And that's why even here in Namibia, I have established as a Minister of International Relations an International Women Peace Center. And that International Women Peace Center is to look into how we can really ensure peace and stability in Namibia and internationally. So people are to be trained there at that center on mediation, peace building, and even when we have to take our contingent to participate in UN peacekeeping, before they go, we orientate them. We even have a plan to say we also orientate their families, because some families are very young. When you have a member of your family going on a UN peace mission, it's a big sacrifice. And you need to understand why this person is doing that. So as I'm telling you, everything I do, I'm thinking of a next person. So that center is there. It's to save Namibia. It saves the international community. And I'm happy we are linking it to so many similar centers in the world. So this is my achievement as a deputy minister of foreign affairs, advising my minister, among many other administrative issues. Then, now I became a Minister of Women Affairs and Child Welfare. Of course, my main focus is women emancipation, sensitize the Namibian nation to understand the importance of equality between men and women, and I'm convinced I have done my job.
I just want to ask you that regarding the women welfare. I just wanted to ask, what do you think were the challenge before you took over the ministry? And how did you address some of those challenges? And what do you think were the achievements that you left the ministry?
First, I wouldn't really call them a challenge, but I must say the traditions and the cultures that created a big gap in terms of recognizing one's value in the society in as far as men and women are concerned was so big. And it was both men and women, we were at the same level. We were like, that is a man's job, that is a woman's job. And as a man, you see yourself as more superior. And me as a woman, I see myself as I'm down there. And when it comes now to real development, such an attitude has a serious negative impact. And that has been my agenda as a Minister of Women Affairs and, of course, Child Welfare, to make the Namibian population to understand that us being men and women does not make us to think of who is superior and who is not superior, but to think that we are all human beings and we need one another. We know about our biological responsibility. As a woman, my biological responsibility is to carry a baby and to bring that life to earth. And I'm so proud of it. Because it's something that you as a man, you cannot share with me. It's my strength. I can make it my strength. It cannot be seen as a weakness. And the same with the boy child. The thing that you are there, you may have that physical power. It's your strength, but not a strength to be exercised against another person. To see ourselves that women and men, they can do the same work in the interest of the public. So if you are, there's no difference when you are a minister being a man or a minister being a woman. Now, why do I say now I have succeeded? I am sure the attitude towards equality between men and women have changed in Namibia. You are finding a certain level of respect. And you, even when you are working as a woman, and you have that authority of the office. And even the men who are working in that office, they accept that authority of a minister, of a director, of a ED. They don't look at you as you're a woman. They are looking at the office that you are having. So that is why, in fact, at Namibia's independence, they were not even women in the management cadre, be black or white. By today, they are there. In the banking institutions, I remember one of the banks as a minister, they sent me their annual report. I look at the management, it was 100% men. I wrote them a letter acknowledging the report. I thank it. By then I say, please next time change. Your management must have a balance. Today they have changed. Our parliament today is 50-50 women. And this is because the SWAPO party has adopted this zebra list. So I worked on that one. No one can take that away from me. I know it was Married Person Equality Act, which I remember when it was passed, I got a job before my husband as a deputy minister. And I had only one child then. So I had to apply for my medical aid to the Minister of Finance. Then the report came to say it's only me and my son who can be on my medical aid because my husband cannot go in because I'm not the head of the household. Because that was how the law was.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
That only a man who can be a head of the household. And according to the law we found here, a woman cannot have dependence. So then they refused to put my husband in the medical aid. I wrote a letter to Minister Herigol, may his soul rest in eternal peace. I even went to the dictionary and explained what does the dictionary say about a head of household. It says, I still remember that, a person who's working to earn a salary and sustain a family. I say, I'm the one who's working, I'm earning a salary, I'm sustaining my family, so I'm a head of household. So therefore, put my husband in the medical aid. How can I be in the house? I'm in the medical aid, my husband is not. That issue became a cabinet discussion. Today, thanks to Netumbo, women can have their husbands in their medical aid on one condition, and that one I agree when we were discussing, because you also don't want the government to be exploited.
Yes.
You might have a civil servant married by a chief executive officer of a big company, and then to save their money in their company, they'll put the family on the government medical aid. So now it's made conditional that the medical aid should go into the name of the one having the highest salary. But at least that one I agree.
Yeah.
You have to be having a balance. So Namibian women, Namibians must know that change has come because Netumbo complained and then fought for it as part of gender equality between men and women. This is what I can say among many other things. When it comes to the children, because I told you whenever I'm in the office, I'm looking at the service. At the time of Namibia's independence, there were quite a number of white pre-primary schools. But when we got independence, it became difficult because we cannot have them for only whites, but it should be countrywide. But since the country is big, we just started at grade 1. That's where the government take over. So as a minister of women affairs, my first statement, I said I will do my best not to leave this ministry before we introduce pre-primary back into the whole system. That time, Komen Nahas was the Minister of Education, and I know he was making a study on the reform of the education. So I had a discussion with him and say, let us also see how we can introduce pre-primary back. Today, we have grade 0. That is the reality. I thought of it, and today we have grade 0.